All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel, the main event here. And today we're going to be talking about how the new rule set is actually 2 rule sets. We're going to be playing 2 different rule sets at the same time. Yes, you heard that correctly. It was just announced by Pokemon yesterday that we'll be playing Regulation J on the in-game ladder, and we'll be playing Regulation H for live events. The reason that they are going to be different is because Regulation J is going to be mythical Pokemon. And I'm going to get into a lot of what I believe a lot of this stuff means. So for Regulation J, we're going to be playing from September through January. So September 1st, even though on the official site it says August 31st, which would be like August 31st, 9 p.m. ish on, well, that's probably when they take the ladder down to reset it. So maybe it'll just be September 1st at midnight, all the way until January 4th. That's a significant date in my opinion. We'll get into that in a little bit. The rule set basically allows you to use 2 restricted Pokemon, right? But unlike previous mythical formats where we had 2 restricted or like 2 mythicals and like unlimited restricted, so this was all over the place, it was really unbalanced. Now the mythicals are in the pool of restricted, so you can still only have 2 total. So for example, if you want to have Darkrai on your team, you can only have 1 other Pokemon of this class. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. Because it says including mythicals. So I think basically you can have like Groudon, Rayquaza, and that'll be the end of it. Or you could have Pecharunt and Ho-Oh, and that's your 2 total. At least that's how I'm interpreting the rules, that you can only have 2. So that does make for a more interesting format, at least in my opinion, whereas you're just slamming all the restricted Pokemon onto the team at one time and you're trying to make it like work. Because now I think you have a little bit more of a bit bigger pool of Pokemon to use in a sense, because right now the restricted format, Regulation I, is kind of like CSR, CIR, or Calyrex Shadow, Calyrex Ice Rider, Zamazenta, Miraidon. Those are like the big 4. And then there's like some Lunala in there, some Kyogre. It's not that many Pokemon that people are actually able to use right now in that format. It's purely because a lot of them just don't hold up. There's some Tropicals and some like Haridon, but again, those are like the big 4, right? At least now with the mythicals also dipping into that pool, while all the mythicals are not that great as it stands, there are some really good ones like Deoxys and Arceus and like Darkrai. So it opens the pool a bit more, creates for some more interesting like strategy that you can use, at least on the in-game ladder, which is where this is going to be exclusively. Again, this will not be for the live events at all. So I do think the format can be like interesting. I'm glad it's not the format for live events, because I like wouldn't want to deal with stuff like Darkrai, Dark Void at live events. That's just like not fun to play against. So like for real stakes in best of 3, I wouldn't want to deal with that. I wouldn't want to deal with like Jirachi, like Serene Grace flinching me all day. Like I just don't want to get cheesed out by that stuff. Not to mention, again, mythicals, at least the top end mythicals and the top end restrictions just really push the other Pokemon down a lot more. So it just makes it harder. Yes, I really wouldn't want to play this. Let me know if you guys would want to play this at a tournament or like for a live event. Also, let me know if you want me to make like teams and cover teams for this and play this on ladder and make videos with it, because I will, because it does seem like an interesting format and I do want to try a lot of these guys out. So we'll get some of the more significant stuff. So official live tournaments in the Pokemon Circle will play Regulation H until November 2025. So November 2025 and January 4th are very significant dates in my opinion, and we'll go over to the live events and we'll go over why I think they are significant. So we have events announced all the way up until November, right? At least for this calendar year. We have nothing for December, which we'll get into in a minute. So we'll be playing Reg H at Frankfurt and Monterey, the first 2 Reg H events, and then we'll be playing at Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, the first 2 North American events will also be Reg H. Belo Horizonte and Lille will be Reg H as well for October. Gdansk will be Reg H. Now I will say it doesn't say a date in November, but I'm going to take it to assume that all of November will be Reg H. So Las Vegas regionals, Gdansk regionals, Buenos Aires special championships, Latin America international championships, and Stuttgart to round it out will all be Reg H, right? Now, as you see here, there's a gap between November and January. Now, you're probably thinking, no, they'll probably just announce it for December. I believe December, there will be no events. And I believe that that'll be because they will be letting people play, what's it called? Legends ZA, so that they can be prepared for champions releasing in January. Champions was announced for 2026, and most people had speculated like mid 2026 to late 2026, like the fall. I was a believer that it would be I hope you guys can't hear that, it's outside my window. I was a believer that Champions would be coming out in February for like Pokemon Day, but now with regulation J ending in January, and the regulation H for live events ending in November, I believe Champions will be coming in January. More speculation on that is due to Toronto being announced late, right? Toronto was not in the first wave of announcements. It was announced later on that we'd be getting Toronto. So here's my thing, and some of the other ones as well, right? So here's my thinking. If we had all these other events announced, right? They announced some more for November or whatever. They announced some more for the fall, and then they announced an event later for Toronto for January. I don't see a world where they announce a further out event first and then return and announce the December event later, right? I just don't see that being the case. So I think that December will be a sort of an off month to allow people to transition out of Scarlet and Violet and Reg H, or at least transition out of Reg H, you know, play Legends, Legends ZA, you know, build up their resources in that game, if or build up their Pokemon collection in that game, stuff like that. And then I do believe that when the ladder changes or the formats change in January, it'll be changing to like a Legends ZA oriented format for Pokemon Champions. Because the only way this doesn't happen is if they do some kind of Scarlet and Violet update where we're switching to Scarlet and Violet, but we're having home compatibility and we can bring those mons in from ZA to home to Scarlet and Violet to play on that console some more. That just feels like going around the block to get across the street when Champions is on the horizon, right? So at least my prediction is that we get Champions and we play Reg Reg K or whatever it is, or maybe they'll call it like Reg ZA for like Megas. I think Megas will be the format that we get in January on Champions, and then we'll play Champions from January up until Worlds and beyond, right? So I believe that is like the timeline of events that we can look forward to. Anything else I want to go over with this stuff really quickly? You guys know what the Reg H rules are basically, but I guess we can go over to it really quickly just to, you know, yap some more about the video. So like Regulation H, we know what the deal was. It was the format with like Sneasler that everybody everyone loved most people loved the format, but I think most people also hated Sneasler. Like there was some give and take there. We kind of understood, but you know, there's always some give and take. So yeah, all these Pokemon here are banned. Every single legendary Pokemon is banned. Every restricted Pokemon is banned. You can only use basically what can be captured in the game that does not fit that criteria. This is the format where like Wolfie Can Perish was born, Arch Rain, P2 Ursa Balance, Marco's Sun, things of those things like Charizard, Torkoal, Porygon, the Sun team with Jumpluff. Yeah, so this format will be interesting to see if it develops even further. I do think there's room for development in Reg H, because like I said, we thought that the format was mostly solved, and then Wolf came with like the Perish Rain team that was really strong. The Marco Sun team came along later. It started off with the P2 Ursa Balance stuff. Then there was like the Michael Derbest team with like Dragapult and Sneasler and King Gambit and the redirection. Then there was the Hyper Offense team with Blood Moon, Electabuzz, Tailwind, Sneasler. Like there was a lot of different versions of different teams. So I think the format does have some room to develop. So we have until now to November to figure it out and enjoy it. So let me know what ideas you guys think you would like to like develop or see come about in the regulation. Also, please let me know if you'd like to see me cover both formats, because as of now I'm thinking like I'll play Reg J like in game on ladder for videos, and then I'll talk about Reg H like tournament results, right? Like I'll do meta developments for Reg H, tournament results for Reg H. I'd be willing to do both if you guys are interested in that. So please, you know, let me know down below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. Let me know which mythicals you think will be good, which ones you think will not be that great. I do believe that like Darkrai will be good. I think that Deoxys will be very good, like especially like attack form. Like let's look at like Deoxys stats real quick before I get up out of here. because I wouldn't use the normal form when the attack form just gives you more attack stats, right? Special attack and physical, it just gives you more stats. I would just use this one. The bulk 50 20 20 and 50 50 50 is like whatever, who cares, give it a focus sash, it's the same bulk. So I would just use like this guy. I think it's gonna be very, very strong. Everyone says Arceus would be the strongest. I don't know that much about Arceus in the sense that like I have, oh, that's not how you spell Arceus. I have played with it in Rambats, and while it's good in Rambats, it never feels like unbeatable in Rambats. Like even the stat spread, like 720 base stats is really high, right? It's really, really strong, but none of these stats are like out of this world, right? Like if you look at like Fluttermane, for example, like, right, Fluttermane is faster, more speed, depth, more attack. Obviously these stats suck, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like none of its stats are stats that we've never dealt with like before. I guess it's just we've never dealt with anything that consistent, so we'll see how good it actually is. I think it'll be strong because you can change the type and you can be very versatile. Its move pool is very, very deep, so I think that's what'll make it really good. Like I don't think it'll be any one single overpowering Arceus versus like the fact that it can every single Arceus you see has the potential to be different. I think that's what'll make it tough, especially because it'll be CTS and it might also be the global challenge format, because we know we're gonna get more global challenges. So it might be Reg J global challenges, which are gonna be out of this world insane. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What mythicals are gonna be the best? What are you looking forward to in Reg H? Would you have liked to play Reg J as the tournament format? Let me know all that stuff in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys for being here. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.